We all have that one opinion, in my case it's more than just one, where people will ask you, do you seriously mean that? You're not just pulling my leg or trying to troll and bait me, right? In this video I want to talk about some of my unpopular gaming opinions, or straight up bad takes. At least that's what people always tell me when I tell them my opinions. It's a sad life out there. The year is 2017, the Switch just came out with Zelda, and somehow Nintendo is telling us we also get Mario in the same year. Is it a dream? Nope. It was real life, and Odyssey came out and was another masterpiece, just like everyone expected. But in the very same month of October, an even better 3D Jump'n'Run came out a few weeks before. Ahead in time. I don't even want to put both games against each other because I love both, but here the presentation of Ahead in Time edges the win out for me. Normally when it comes to Jump'n'Runs, I love it when the dialogue or story does not get in the way, and Odyssey has barely any of that, which is great, but Ahead in Time walks the line perfectly for me. The dialogue is cute and funny, and you never feel anyone is overstaying their welcome with useless dialogue that keeps you from doing what you came here for, jumping and running, or driving on your scooter. My holy trinity of the sequels with a 2 in them that are better than any other game in the franchise for me: Xenoblade 2, Dark Souls 2 and Metroid Prime 2. Metroid Prime 1 is an almost perfect game, but Redwood Studio just said, yeah, let's make Metroid Prime 1, but even better. The best boss battles in the franchise, the densest and darkest atmosphere, and the best locations. And obviously you have to mention the Dark World. The normal world feels a bit like New York City. You feel safe, but dangers can still lurk around. But then you enter the Dark World and suddenly you are in New York City at night, waiting to be shot and checked around every corner. I totally understand the complaints about it, but I like the dread it gives you. It almost feels like the developers are basically telling you that you shouldn't be allowed to have fun here, even though I have fun with it. Xenoblade 2 is my favorite game of all time, and while I also really love 1, X and 3, they never really gave me the same sensation as 2. It's the kind of game you play and just everything clicks. You know it has flaws, but you just don't care about them when playing it, and you can just replay it countless times. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but no other game has ever made me put my controller down and made me say, did this really just happen? You know, like a Marvel movie, wow, this just happened, haha, sorry. The last 30% of the game are just a wild ride after another, but even the dreaded chapter 4 is a chapter I freaking love. I love basically anything about this game. For me it's a game that screams JRPG and what I want out of them. I often see people saying the goofy aspects of the game, the theory-wide, I totally mispronounce it, but I like to use the word even though it's a big word for someone as small as me. It deteriorates their enjoyment of the game because it makes them not take the heartfelt moments seriously, because all the other stuff in the game is like goofy, haha, goofy this, goofy that, and it makes them think, oh, this is too goofy, I can't take the serious moments seriously because of those goofy moments. But for me it walks the perfect line. I love how Rex can just talk to someone really important about the creation of the universe, and then immediately afterwards he just quotes his salvage's code, and those are just the moments I live for. It's just funny and cute, and I don't know, I just love it. And now we move on to Dark Souls 2, which probably raised the most eyebrows. It just feels different. The gameplay feels different in comparison to the other Souls games, the graphical style, the locations. It just really sets itself apart in a way I really like. All the locations feel so unique, and they mostly do it because they don't need to be connected. They don't have to make sense. People always rag on Dark Souls 2 for not making the sense with how the world is designed and interconnected, but I don't mind it. It doesn't have to have this interconnected feel of the first game. It does its own thing. Can't deny that the movement or combat at first feels a bit weird in comparison to the others, but you kinda get used to it pretty quickly, at least I do. The Wii is my favorite Nintendo console. My favorite console of all time is the PlayStation 2, which isn't an unpopular opinion at all, but having the Wii as my favorite Nintendo console is pretty out there, I think. At least it was back in the day. Nowadays there's more and more people who see how great of a console it actually was, but it was known as the casual console when the whole casual versus hardcore gamer war thing was going on back in the day, and people always looked down onto the Wii. Where, every game is waggle, wah, every game is shovelware, the graphics suck because I want HD, since I just bought a new HD flat screen TV. There's so many underrated games on this tiny console that wouldn't have been possible if Nintendo went the same path as Sony and Microsoft, and that's what I'm grateful for. Fragile Dreams, Lost in Shadow, No More Heroes, yeah, I know it got a PlayStation 3 and 360 port later, but it was still made for the Wii first, and so many other probably wouldn't exist right now. And those are just a tiny fraction of my favorites. The Wii gave developers a chance to still make games with a fairly low budget, while the HD era started to bubble up the budget cost of video games to the extreme, and it just continues on. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is my favorite Smash game. I grew up with 64 and Melee, but Brawl was the last time I really had the fun of my life with the series. Back in 2005, I had the German Gamer magazine as a subscription, and it was time for my favorite issue of the year. The ESV one with like 50 pages of pure new game announcement and articles and trailers on the DVD, and special videos of the guys writing the reviews doing goofy shit at the booths. I popped the DVD right into the DVD player, and when I clicked the Smash Bros. Brawl trailer, my life changed. Wario, Zero Suit Samus, who the fuck is Pit? Wait, is that Hacking Solid Snake? I haven't even played any Metal Gear Solid games at that point, but I still knew how big the implications here were. And the whole dojo that later opened up, always checking it before going to school every morning. The hype was really real. My mom had to drive me to like 4 different stores on release day to find a copy of it, and then back home I went onto Skype and told everyone in my Wii clan that I'm gonna kick their butts, so we started to play online, and yeah, what a piece of shit that was. After a few weeks the online worked kinda if everyone had a LAN adapter, but also the game, it has the most content and everything about it was just fun. I didn't really care about how it felt a little bit slower. I didn't care about tripping. Like, if someone cares about tripping that's not a pro player, why do you even care? Why would you care that you're tripping? Like, if I play against friends, I don't care if I trip. Like, they can trip my feet, and then never mind. Next. Now get ready for a true hot take. Games can't age badly. If a game was a masterpiece back in the day, then it's still one today. I want to make a video about this point, so I will keep it really short like this and leave without elaborating. I also think characters can't be over-designed. I love characters with many details, even if they don't add anything. Give characters freckles, give them some shark teeth, give them glasses, give them some anime as fuck hairstyle, give them 200 belts, give them a huge dick, give them some big clown shoes, give them tons of makeup, give them anything you want. I will probably love it anyways. This little fella is called Luso Clemens, and he's the main character of Final Fantasy A2 Grimoire of the Rift. He's somewhat the poster child of people saying, wow, look at that overdesign. He has a giant pizza cutter sword, then he got a second smaller sword in his hips. The Grimoire has kinda like the shape of a pizza, heels on his shoes, tons of belts, shields on his elbows, a 4-clover emblem thingy, 2 different kinds of glows. His pizza cutter has a chain for absolutely zero reason, and some other small details. And yeah, he looks goofy, but I like the look. I love characters that have so many small details all over them, even if they make zero sense. Give me the craziest designs possible and I will probably love them. I don't really like Sony games, and I have tried most of them. Is this even an unpopular opinion? Wait, is it a bad with huge tits? Never mind, I love Sonic. Games don't have to be fun. Most people still think games only have to be one thing, fun. But I disagree. Video games can be so much more than just fun video games. Imagine you go to the cinema and watch Schindler's List, and then coming out of the cinema and saying, wow, this shit was nothing like Adam Sandler's masterpiece Jack and Jill. What a piece of poop. Yeah, because they go for completely different things obviously. Not every movie has to be fun, so why should every game have to be fun? But somehow when it comes to games, people don't understand that simple point sometimes. And that's kinda enough for today. One day I will probably make another video like this since there's so many more, but I don't really want to run out of fuel. But you can fuel me with a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Even though I don't drink any real fuel, I prefer my Pepsi Max for that. Without it I can't live anymore. Except when I quit it sometimes for a while, and I can tell you caffeine withdrawal is no joke. Some of the worst headaches I ever had, and you feel like a real zombie afterwards. Keep your soda consumption under control, my fellow people. I will see you next time, maybe. So enjoy the rest of your day or night or evening or noon, afternoon, morning. I already said that. Good night.